Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood here with some news that you may have already heard. Definitely. The classic TV series Dark Shadows, which I'm a huge fan of, is making a return for sure at the CW with Dark Shadows Reincarnation, according to Bloody Disgusting through Deadline. The Collins family will return to television in Dark Shadows Reincarnation. This is courtesy of Deadline. I'm reading this off bloodydisgusting.com, which I'll leave a link to their site in the description box. Deadline reports tonight a brand new sequel series from the CW and Warner Brothers Television. The pilot for the hour-long gothic horror drama will be written by Mark B. Perry of Revenge. He also did Ghost Whisperer. The reimagined show will be a modern-day continuation of the strange slash terrifying and sexy saga of the Collins family of Collinsport, Maine, a mysterious, influential, publicly shy group hidden a ghastly secret for the past 400 years. They've lived under a curse that bedevils their blue blood with every imaginable supernatural creature and horror. Deadline adds the intention here is to harken back to the original. As first generation fans, it's been a dream of mine to give Dark Shadows the Star Trek treatment since way back in the 80s when Next Generation was announced. So I'm beyond thrilled and humbled to be entrusted with the resurrection, said Perry, and while I could never hope to fill Dan Curtis's very large shoes, I do aspire to carry him a little further into the future. I also want to assure the fans of the original that the version will treat the show's mythology with the same reverence given to Star Trek, but will also make the show accessible for audiences who aren't yet familiar with the macabre world of the Collinses. My plan is to take a few liberties as possible the Dark Shadows canon while bearing in mind a quote from the 1970s episode delivered by the eminent Oscar nominee Garrison Hall as Dr. Julia Hoffman. The Collins family history is not particularly famous for its accuracy. So that's from Bloody Disgusting, courtesy of Deadline. You know, I'm pretty good at making predictions, so I'm going to make one here. I think what you'll get is somewhat what you've gotten from the Bloodline slash Bloodlust audio. I think it'll be, but because I do think they are going to keep the original in mind in here, I think you'll get a total of 3 original characters, and that includes Barnabas, so he'll be one. I think you'll get Carolyn and David primarily. I wouldn't even be so shocked if Nancy Barrett was asked to reprise her role. So I think they're going to give you 3 original characters, and I think the rest are going to be new characters, younger characters that they're going to build storylines around and subplots around. And I really think that what they're going to try to do is, while Dark Shadows isn't necessarily horror, I think they are going to appeal to a horror audience. I think this will be a 9 to 10 o'clock show that'll air late at night. I don't think you'll get necessarily straight up gore, in my opinion, and I want to stress that when I do these videos, as I do everything the hell else, this is my opinion slash prediction. I also think that while, yes, Barnabas will be a focus, he won't be the primary focus, because if they do that, they're just going to go right back to what the 60s did. I don't think you'll see Barnabas Collins in the first episode, and that's daring to say. I actually think you'll see him by the end of the season, the first season. You've heard that right. That's my prediction, and people might say, why not? Why not to the end of the first season? Why are you predicting that? Because I really think they need to build toward him. Because if you sit here and say you're going to appeal to a... Listen, I read the younger, the people who aren't familiar loud for a reason. They're trying to appeal to a younger audience. Look, we're Dark Shadows fans. We're going to watch something that has the title Dark Shadows in it. We're going to watch it and see what it is and what it isn't. They want to appeal to a younger, sexier audience. Not that we're not all sexy. I'm sure we all are. We're all sexy, okay? But to be serious, they do want a younger audience. They want a younger range, younger than me. God, I'm fucking old. But so they really do want a younger audience, and they want to appeal to them. So I think you'll see a high school setting? I wouldn't rule it out. With this, I think they are going to try something very daring. I don't think we're going to get the same exact thing we got in the revival. I don't think we're going to get character per character. I don't think we're going to get Victoria. I don't think we're going to get Maggie. I don't think we're going to get Roger. I would be shocked and disappointed if we did. If we just got the same set of original characters and they went back to that, I'd go, what's the point? We've heard this story. Again, though, they said 400 years. Did you notice that? 400 years. So not 200 years, not specifically just Barnabas. They're meaning the whole family. So, and I think that's a key too, that word, the 400 years. That to me means you're going to make this about everybody in the Collins family, not just particularly or specifically Barnabas. So there's hidden words in these articles that I think you really need to look at, in my opinion. I think that Dark Shadows will have an audience. I think they will appeal to a whole younger. They are going to me, again, I've said this repeatedly in this video and I apologize for repeating myself. Their appeal to the younger audience needs to be one thing and one thing consistently. They're younger characters, whoever they are. I don't know what their names are. We don't know that yet. We don't know who exactly are the characters. This is just a prediction video. And I've predicted the three old ones I think they'll have. Like I said, Carolyn, David, Barnabas, in that order. Because to me, if you're going to say what you want, if you sit here and say, well, it's most likely just a reboot, it very well could be, and they could have no old characters. But I do think they're going to have either one or two of the original characters, Carolyn or David, be a part of this show some way, somehow, some form, because they're going to want to, as much as they're going to appeal to a newer audience and aim hard as hell at that newer audience, they're going to somewhat want to keep the older audience involved. And there's no better way to do that than have two familiar characters, or at least one. I think, again, one or two familiar characters are going to be there. And that's not including Barnabas. Listen, Barnabas Collins is an obvious character. There's no, that goes without saying, guys. You guys know this. He's the most obvious character who's going to be there no matter what. I mean, we all knew that way past 211, right? Past the episode 211. We all knew this. But I do think the two characters who you should rule into obvious is definitely Carolyn, number one, and definitely David, number two. Now, again, I love the way John Phillip did his Carolyn, how he introduced her. I do wonder if they're going to do like a similar way, maybe introduce a husband first, I don't know, or just straight up introduce Carolyn answering the door to whoever. I wouldn't be shocked if they set the opening. Remember, the revival had set Victoria Winters arriving on Halloween. I would not be shocked if they pulled a similar move to where it was either somebody. It ain't gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be Victoria Winters. I don't think we're gonna have that, because again, same old, same old. I do think there's gonna be maybe somebody arriving, and maybe Carolyn answers the door for some trick-or-treaters. I wouldn't be shocked if they did open this with a Halloween episode. Would not be shocked at all, and neither should you. So that's sort of my prediction. I think they are going to sort of go off a little bit of the audio dramas. I don't know how much. I think they're going to do a lot of their own stuff, really. I do think they are going to do their own things. Again, appeal to the younger audience, and I've said that to death in this video. But again, they're going to want to keep some of the older audience, guys. It's okay to say we're old. We're all old. But somebody's probably saying, yeah, speak for yourself. But, and I am, I'm old. But again, I do think there's going to be one or two older characters. So that's my video, guys. That's my prediction. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I am excited, guys. I'm really, really excited that, I know I said like, share, comment, subscribe like I'm signing off, but I'm just really excited that we are definitely getting a pilot. So, thank you. I'll see you guys